they're the perfect example of what I was talking about before. That there's a formula in a book. It says here, put this hi hat here, put this drop here, have this big bitch singing this melody.
Have this chick sing right here. Do it right here. Well,
Right.
well, I mean, it really is though. A lot of our music is fabricated. I feel like a lot of people should understand that though, like because people's ears have like an attuned sense of sound. That there's certain sounds they prefer over other ones. We've already talked about the chords. Like a lot of our favorite songs are the same four chords.
And that's what one of the last couple episodes we talked about is like people like AI just being signed and shit like
Yeah,
a it's an artist.
yeah. We just signed Becky 2000 to a label.
Right, she's gonna sell like 150 million.
She's gonna outsell Drake. The thing is, I could see trolls like literally buying all of the AI's albums just to be like, yeah, AI is gonna be the best person ever. Fuck Drake. I could see which.
Hell yeah, AI is the shit. Just imagine that. Like we're going into the future and our musicians are gonna be fucking holograms and fucking cartoons and machines. Just the guy is the artist behind. Like we can make an artist today and not we'll be behind it controlling all the controls but and making business decisions, but the AI's doing all the fucking work.
And that's why the AI is gonna rise up against us and kill us.
I'll beat the shit out of
Oh yeah.
some AIs.
All right, John Connor, cool it. All right.
Yeah, Terminator. Yeah.
By the way, this
So
cup is
what's
pink,
popping?
but it
Are
looks
we on
red.
record?
We already are recording. What's going on? Bridging the Gap crew. It's your guy Dev here, and Coach B. You know what it be. And you
Hands.
catch these hands. We out
Catch
here
the
trying to
hand.
box. That's what's up.
We're gonna
Um,
box today.
yeah,
That's the workout. We're
yeah,
gonna go.
boxing.
Oh, speaking of, which is very interesting. We could talk about that little Joe shit. Um, bare knuckle fight just was sanctioned last year. Um, very interesting because what they're saying that I mean, bare knuckles is safer than boxing and
MMA.
MMA.
Well, it's probably
It,
because the same reason why full contact without pads is safer is because you're gonna think about how you're gonna tackle somebody the same way you're gonna think about how you hit somebody.
yeah, you
You know,
don't have no equipment except your head and your shoulder,
yeah,
your body is there's nothing in between you and then so you will,
you're
pull
not.
up.
Yeah, you're not gonna put maybe as much force into the hits and throws, and also it's gonna be more of a technique kind of thing. I mean, not there's not a lot of technique in like MMA and stuff, but like I'm just saying, like I could see it, going that way.
I just think they opened up another door. I watched something about it yesterday. I heard about it, but I couldn't get a chance to watch it. It's just one of those things that let's see how it goes. But what I can guarantee that people's faces get fucked up,
Oh yeah, dude, that's where it's gonna be brutal. Is like people's faces are gonna look like shit.
tore the fuck up.
Yeah.
So what else is what's been popping, man? What do you got on the docket? What's been
Dude,
on your mind?
what's been on my mind, man? A lot of things. All of which I'm trying to condense and materialize at this moment. I just saw a advertisement for a coffee cup that looks like a camera lens, and it looks just like a fucking camera lens, and I kind of was like, what? At first I thought it was a camera lens and it was smoking. I thought it was gonna be an advertisement like, yeah, your camera lenses are like bummy, they suck, you should buy ours. But then I saw it, it was like, no, it's a coffee cup. And I was like, because I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, Facebook, why did you think this was an advertisement I wanted to see? I'm like, you have my information, you have everything. I've been looking at cameras, but you're gonna look at me and say, oh yeah, I know you want a camera, but here's a camera coffee cup. And yeah, you want
Speaking
that?
of Facebook posts, yesterday they were saying that Verizon was found a way to get out so many ads that they weren't like supposed to be the target areas they weren't supposed to get.
Like they were throwing out so many ads on people's timelines at a ridiculous rate. You mean?
Yeah,
Yeah, I could see that. Where like because I imagine like scrolling every four posts you see an advertisement
for bridging the gap or media,
for
media.
bridging the
I'm
gap.
with it.
Well, you know what? Yeah, that's what we're gonna do.
Get somebody on that.
We're gonna be like Verizon. We're gonna be unethically just douchebags. If you watch our show, prepare for all the advertisements you're going to get.
Yeah, we're gonna get some ad. We're gonna generate some ad revenue in this motherfucker. But yeah, it's just one of those things like people are finding way to utilize it to like I think that to be just obnoxious with it.
Yeah. Well, another thing that's on my brain was Bernie Sanders was in Huntington on Saturday, and I was working. I was even driving through the town of Huntington delivering.
You should have
And
hopped out on his ass. Been like,
no, I really wish I really wish I was off, to be honest with you, because I would have went. Whatever the cost was, I was paying it to go in there, and I was gonna be like, Bernie, can I get a talk with you for a minute? Because that probably could have been the moment that made us viral if I got to talk with Bernie for like, even if I had like a little 5 minute interview with Bernie.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to say to him, but I looked dead in his face. Barack Obama, when he first ran in 2008, I was right there. My guy I was working with that was setting up the communications part for his visit, that type shit, working with them to make sure everything was secure. He shook his hand. We got a picture of that, and I was standing right there, just looking at him and shit. And he was like, "I gotta go."
Yeah, especially if I was like some young kid who walked up to him, because I guarantee the press coverage there was probably all like a bunch of like it was at the college. It's probably like a bunch of like older people, like the news and stuff. Like Bernie Sanders is here, and like But if I walked up and I was like Bernie, hey Bernie, I was like I got this cool show and I explained the concept, you'd be like, oh, come over and let's try to do my Bernie Sanders impression. Oh, you should come over here. We'll go. We'll talk about it. Yeah.
I don't think nobody's ever gonna get on board. I think with what right now, this particular point. I think
I don't
by
know. There's a lot of people on board with it, And if, I'm not gonna lie to you. If Bernie goes, I'll probably vote for Bernie. Depending, I mean, because the other candidate's gonna be. Well, I don't think he'll get the Democratic nomination, so he'll probably run as an independent, and he might be the first real chance of an independent presidential candidate in a long ass time. Because
and that's playing right into the Republicans' hand again, because that's what happened before. He didn't actually run um, independent, but it was splitting the divide inside the party, and this was the main thing that people were saying. Bernie's people were like, "Fuck Hillary, we're not voting," even though
even
you
though
know,
she won the popular, vote, Coach. Do you know
yeah,
what I mean? So like, I mean, technically, it was like
but
even
she
though
didn't
that
win.
happened, yeah, she didn't win, right? But I'm still
She
saying,
didn't
like,
win.
technically though, it's
Period.
still like the same deal. It's like the same deal though.
Yeah, it's gonna if he goes independent and Democrat, it's gonna divide the people unless the people have that understanding to say whoever gets that nomination to run against Trump, we're gonna support that. That's
Yeah.
the only way it's gonna work.
Mhm.
So we'll see.
We'll see. I'm not trying to have that attitude. I'm trying to I'm about to change, Coach. I'm hoping for the best. I got one life, so what? Fuck it.
I
I'm gonna go
think
Bernie. Rather, if he's Democratic or he's independent, I'll go Bernie because I don't even like any of the Democratic candidates. I mean, they haven't all announced yet. They're coming out, but I mean, we got people like Biden coming out, and they're just dumb.
look what we got right now. I'm not.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't
right.
look at
I hear what you're saying. You're like anybody's better than Trump, but I
and
mean,
and to be honest, you know where I'm objective hating motherfucker. I look at shit and be like, look at both sides, and I find what needs to be hated on and what don't. But we have to take a look and see really what this do. We're gonna have to break that down one time here in a little bit. Maybe take an hour pre-record, break it down, and see what the fuck Trump really did compared. Do that.
it is four
Be the
years.
justice scale and see what it is. Is it possibly that some things are getting done right, and what's it affecting, and what's the long run? Do something like that because he's the dick. No, no question about that.
Yeah, but hopefully he did something in the time that he was
Some
here. Yeah, right.
We
You know,
don't. I don't want to see
I mean, he
fail.
gave. I would say this. I mean, he gave people in like those hardworking industries in like the oil and energy and coal, like all those old fossil fuel type deals, Johns and whatever, got them working again. Got a lot of the factory jobs back. Um,
That's that's good. That's
that's
good. As people are back to work.
yeah, But I mean, at the same time, I mean, creating jobs, I guess. I mean, he created jobs in a similar rate to Obama when Obama took presidency in his first 18 months back in 2008. You
Hmm.
know, if anybody hasn't seen that post I put on Facebook, it was crazy. Like, I hate it. There's so many memes going around comparing Donald Trump to Obama, and they're so sad because they're an attempt to skewer Obama, but Obama was like literally took us out of the worst recession ever. And the stats they show
It's
are the
not the
stats.
same.
They show the stats that what they do is they show the stats at the start of Obama's presidency versus right now in Trump's presidency. And it's like, yeah, that's not even a comparison. Like, you're going to compare Obama's stats from whenever he just became president. Because if you show how his presidency ended, it's almost there. All the numbers are just a little bit better than Trump's. So it leads you to
That's
go, huh? Well, how did Trump really? Did Trump really do all these things, or did Obama just set the stage and Trump's taking the credit for 8 years
that's
of
why
Obama?
we need to take a deep dive into it. Like around election time, we could gather information now and set it up and do like an hour piece on that because and then we can give the objective fact. The only thing that might be missing from ours, it won't be the true facts and opinion and bias in it. It would probably because we fucked up and didn't do some
The research,
research.
right? But
It's
here,
just like fucking guess. Nah.
I do have one question for you. Okay, think about this. All right, so one argument I constantly hear
Uh-huh.
from people that are Trump supporters say when Donald Trump was president, we had the highest opening day for the stock market in
That's
history.
normal.
Right, right. But hold on. And I said to them, I said, now listen for just a second. I said, say you draft a wide receiver, right?
Hmm.
In one game, he breaks the single touchdown record
Hmm.
for a game. And then for the rest of his career, he catches one touchdown a season and he gets 15 catches for like 130 yards every season.
Hmm.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Fuck no.
Exactly my point. Exactly. I said it doesn't matter. You can have a record for whatever because there's so many little records anybody can have. You know what I mean? So
And it's it's the difference of really trying to decipher what is true. That's why you got to just research it yourself. You
right.
can't listen to these fucking news people, yeah.
Right,
They're
because
out of control.
well, not just that, they'll say something to make you think like it's some kind of big deal. Like I said, there's always people that support Donald Trump who say that's also such a big deal. It's like, but it isn't. Actually, if anything, and within his first 18 months, the stock market was down 3.2%. This is from research I did on that one post because I was trying to refute the fuck out of it because I knew just by looking at it was so wrong, and I was like, wow, I couldn't believe it. It went
Yeah, but
down.
it's yeah, if that's the fight you're choosing to go around and correct
Memes,
memes and shit.
yeah, postpone, baby, postpone.
No, I'm just fucking with you. But yeah, but that the facts have to be told by like objective people, and I don't even really think there is any objective.
Yeah,
Like people are, they'll still accept the shit that they really don't agree with because they hate and won't agree with the other side. It's already divisive system. That's why I think the real free thinkers and the researchers and the people that are like, hey, let's try to find a way to balance it out for everybody, and that should get independence pop, the independent people, get an independent side of the ball so people can go into that instead of one or the other. Because I think both these people
yeah.
fucked up.
Right. Well, I mean, yeah, we've said it before. If you're just some guy who reads on Breitbart, well, of course, if that's where you get all your information from, yeah, you're gonna think that Donald Trump is like God, and when he takes a
Great.
piss, when he takes a piss, it's Granny's peach tea. Do you know? And the same thing with people that go to like Democrat, I don't know, CNN. I don't know. I'm
Yeah,
just
that's
CNN.
bad.
If you get all your information from CNN, you're gonna think that
It's the
Obama
overall devil, and yeah, yeah, Obama was the
was the
greatest.
greatest. Obama was the greatest to ever do it. And I'll admit that Obama had some fuck ups, but he definitely did a Gosh, I way better job than Donald Trump did, in my opinion. A way better
Yeah.
job.
I mean, it's like it's two different things. It's like we talked about. You got 8 years to fucking stretch your stuff and try to do the best you can. But once that 8 years is over, the country halts on what it was becoming a habit to them.
Mm-hmm.
Like they adjusted their life to that, saying, "Okay, this is good, this ain't good." And then when somebody comes in and say, "This is what we're changing it now, we're changing that law, we're changing how that went," now people got to keep readjusting. So the unless you really get something in mind and you're entrepreneur or you're a worker and you've been there for years and you're able to grow, you're pretty much screwed, bro.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You're
Well,
screwed.
it's the thing is, and it's a system because if we had if all politicians had a common goal, which that goal was for the betterment of society, and they didn't have their own personal interests, it wouldn't matter who the president would be because the president or the Congress or whoever comes in there, they all have a job to do, and their job is to better everybody else's lives and try and sustain our
That's their
freedoms.
job
That's their
description.
description. Right. But it's just like any job you've ever actually worked at. When you go to work at that job, you'll find out like that's what corporate says, but this is how we really do the shit. This is
Right.
really how we do things around here. Wait, I thought we weren't supposed to put that in the trash compactor now.
No, shred it.
No, throw it in there. We're not like the other day. Like there's a fridge we had to put back. It was a fridge that was gonna get recycled, and like we just didn't feel like putting the door back on. And I'm like, are we gonna put the door back on? He's like, nah, just throw it in the fuck compactor. So we threw it in the trash compactor and got it smashed up. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's like one of those deals.
One of
We're
those
not.
deals. And definitely if you're looking, and that could take us where we're going next. Like if you're just looking at one side of everything, like looking at one view of what's is more complicated, needs to be looked at from different views of about what goes on out here, government, anything you're trying to do, you got to do as much research and get other opinions and form your own
Yeah.
and try to, you know what I mean? Because the media is just crazy. Like with the church thing. I think that turns into a trend, bro.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's gonna be a new narrative. I think it's gonna be a new news narrative we're gonna be seeing is like religious people persecuted somehow, some way. They're under attack. They're the new. It'd be like the new thing. We're looking for domestic terrorists now. We're because ISIS doesn't exist in anyone's mind anymore. So now we're worried
No.
about domestic terrorists. As
What's
you,
next? Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's probably the next thing is, and they're targeting the religious individuals and yada yada yada. I could see it being some kind of for religious institutions, trying to get people back in the churches and stuff and so forth because they're under
Or
persecution or whatever.
but it's happening every do so do I mean it's been happening
It has been, yeah,
for
right.
way years before America's been
Per-
discovered for any of
the
that
media
stuff.
has been
So
reporting on it. It's been happening before the media has been reporting on it, basically.
yeah, and I think what it is. I think that it a lot of it is not so organized that it then some crazy person sitting in their room in the dark in their mom's house, like just reading content and on all these crazy boards. You know what I mean? Where they can go spew their hate and it feeds somebody that probably wouldn't do
What?
anything in life that's meaningful and
Mm-hmm.
then to go do some dumb shit.
At first, I thought you were talking about me until you said that last part. I said sitting in their room, a dark room at their mom's house. I was like, "Oh, are you talking about me?" And then he goes spreading hate on I'm like, "Well, I'm not really on KKK pages per se, so you
Wait,
know."
whoa. Per se, what do you do? What do you
Well,
mean? You're on kick?
I'm on some other pages, spewing some hate.
Uh,
Um, especially like I don't know. I'm on the Pornhub comments. You
oh,
know.
that's me. I'm top fan. I got a
Did you
top
ever
fan.
see? Did you ever see? Hold on. Just a sidetrack. Have you ever seen like there's like memes of like guys will be in the comments of Pornhub videos going, "Who's the name of this Pornhub actress?" And there's like this guy who like literally answers every question. Like he knows every single porn star, and
That's his,
it says this guy's a hero. because like
Hell
anytime
yeah.
someone's like, "Oh man, this girl's so hot. What's her name?" and then
He
the guy,
knows.
he's like, "I know." It's like Angela Rose or whatever something.
Yeah, I'm definitely top fan on fucking Pornhub. But yeah, that's pretty much what it is. It's just people need to think about that type of stuff because I mean, that's like a big thing to spread. Like I was telling you, we were talking about a little earlier about how they're just using the church to put in the in the taglines. Like in Baltimore over the weekend, I think it was yesterday at some gathering, somebody shot, injured 6 people, one person killed. So Ball Alert posts on their thing after it was reported all day yesterday. Like this morning, it says 6 wounded, one murdered in Baltimore shooting by church.
By church, yeah, and it's like such an unnecessary detail. Me and Coach were we were just talking about this morning. We said if Coach walks outside his door right now and looks to his right down the street and his left down the street, he's literally going to see 6 churches. It's such an irrelevant thing because churches are everywhere.
Yeah,
I mean, they're just everywhere. I mean, literally, it'd be like saying like there was a grain of dirt next to the guy's body when he died. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, of course. There's dust everywhere. There's dirt everywhere. The same way
there's
with churches is.
churches, especially in certain neighborhoods. If you're more in the rural, you're gonna have less. But in the inner city, there's a church or a bar within under a minute walking distance.
Right. So
Yeah.
the churches can preach to the alcoholics in the bars. Hey,
Yeah, one day they'll be in there. You know what I
I
mean? They
mean,
drink too much.
don't
One day
even
they'll be into the church.
don't even say rural though. Don't even say rural because I live out here in Martinsburg, Farmtown, Pennsylvania, and if I walk out of my house now, granted it is a little bit because I'm in a trailer park, so you're not gonna be at like a church
You're
inside the
fucking
trailer
trailer park boy.
I'm trailer trash.
Trailer trash.
I'm trailer trash. But if I walk down my door and I
Uh-huh.
went out probably about just 2 blocks, I would see a church. Like once I got out of the trailer park and looked to my left or my right, there's a church right there in front of the trailer park. And if you walk up the street, there's another one.
Yeah.
On one
I'm
street, there's 3 churches that are all on the same block. Like there's 3 different churches on the same block. Does that make any sense? Like they're all in competition with each other. Like I don't get
church
it.
flea market. Like come in and pick your church. But yeah, I confused about all the different churches, different what do they call that? Whatever they Catholic, Christian, what is it called? Denominations.
Catholic, Protestant, but Protestant's like several denominations that all include like Baptist, Pentecostal. There's so many denominations
Too
within.
much.
Yeah, even within Catholicism, there's so many denominations. No matter what, like there's just so many little branches of the religion, especially Christian religions. Just like there are Muslims, even Muslims and Jews have like different divisions of their own religion. Like that's why there's a lot of conflict in Muslim countries because you have the Muslims that believe in like they're 2 different kinds. I forget the exact terminology, but there's 2 different like branches. Like how we have Catholics and Protestants. Muslims have 2 different kinds of branches of their own religion that are in conflict with each other constantly
Right.
in their own
I
country.
mean, all religions are in conflict with each other in some point or minute. Not to the extreme that some of them are taking,
Yeah, right.
but it's a dirty game in religion.
Dirty
Being
game.
out there in religion, it's a crazy game.
Yeah.
So
Well, not for most people. For most people, religion isn't a dirty game. But for like the people that run the religious institutions, yeah, like
right,
it's
that's what
disgusting.
I mean. We're not talking about the
Joe
people,
Schmoes that go to
yeah,
the
that
church.
follow it, go in there and give their money up. They're just basically what it says, the sheep.
Hmm.
You got some wolves in sheep clothing out there trying to pass off something that I think is very intimate and personal, and you gotta really believe. So I never knock anybody on this belief about nothing, but there's just a lot going on out there. And speaking of, I think this is what Kanye's doing. Kanye's gonna be a mega church, bro. He's
Are you saying he's gonna be like the next Scientology? Like we're gonna go to the Church of Kanye someday?
right. He's not going to join a religion or do anything. He's going to make it up. I think this is what he's doing, because he's got that church's Sunday and people. I mean, it's great. You got music playing. I don't know how he's going to be able to work that, but I just can't. That's where it looks like he's going in his direction. He sees that, oh, I can make music right now. Now I want to make this kind of music, and he doesn't, because music, you don't make money off of music.
Yeah.
Just like a throwaway gift to you guys, so you keep supporting my real ventures. But do we? How many people do you? I think Kanye would have a big congregation, yo. He
Yeah.
can be a
I
Joel Osteen.
You know,
Osteen.
you know what? I would go to that church because at least I could see Kanye. And if Kanye told me he was the prophet or the Messiah or whatever, I wouldn't know. But at least I could see him. At least I could see the prophet before my eyes. And be like, oh, look, there's actually Kanye. He's the prophet. Well, I could see him. Jesus, Muhammad, fucking Allah, Vishnu, whoever the hell you believe in, dude. Like, I can't. That's imaginary shit. But I can at least see Kanye.
I mean,
That's more
Yeezys for everybody.
believable.
That's what I'm like. Yeezys and free beats. Send me 1 million.
Yeah.
No, I think he would be an excellent, not saying excellent person for people to follow, saying an excellent Joel Osteen or Creflo Dollar, those people. He would be successful at it.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to give him my money though, because I think he's already got enough.
Yeah, I ain't giving Kanye
Yeah,
shit.
I ain't giving you shit, Kanye. Especially whenever you were messed up wearing those Donald Trump hats back in the day. What's wrong with you?
I ain't giving Kanye nothing. Screw him. All right, what else you got popping? Anything else you had thinking?
Well, no, that's all I had on my mind. I did want to touch up on the NFL draft.
What
Just
about
a
that?
bit.
You told me something interesting that I found interesting about the you said something about they want to put on state cars or something. They
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I want to wait to really talk about it. I'm gonna probably get at my guy Rick Hoover because he knows more about it.
Oh,
I just
okay.
seen it, but I mean, yeah. Around here in our local community, they're trying to put "In God We Trust" on state vehicles, and I just think that's like a violation of like church and state. And just putting it like just throwing it up, and they're because what they're trying to do is they're trying to push some crazy dumb story, right? Where it's about this basically it's about this Rottweiler went and like instead of killing, okay, so there's two dogs and a dog, and then there was two guys walking their dogs, um and then there was a little girl with the one person walking their dog, and the one dog got angry, like I don't know what to say, aggressive, and attacked the other dog.
Hmm.
And it's because the emergency response team came, and because it was a miracle. This is what they claim was a miracle, because the dog attacked the other dog rather than the little girl. And like it's some ridiculous story that the people at the council are trying. I wouldn't say all the people at the council, but most people are in agreement, because Rick said he messaged the guy and talked to, or not messaged him, but he actually called him and talked to him.
So this is just
Yeah,
an idea. It's not
yeah.
gonna happen.
Well, no, but most of the people are in agreement. They want to do it. Like with I'm not, and I don't know the specifics. That's why I want to talk to him, because he spoke with
Oh,
somebody. No, I don't know if it's the mayor or the current mayor of Altoona or whoever, but he wants to speak. Like he spoke with them, and that's why I kind of want to be like, I want him on to talk about it and get the nitty gritty, because I just, and the thing is he's done some research to find that they're trying everywhere around this state to push that. Like they come up with some little story like that, and they're trying to get it, like it's like just this is all just recently happening, like around
right.
everywhere you look. They're trying to get "In God We Trust" put on the state vehicles. And like I
So,
said,
uh, yeah, I just want to understand this. I'll do some more research, but I'm saying like if it's on state, it has to go down there and get passed by everybody. It can't just be done by a small community. They're just starting the charge or something. That's an idea. It's not like it's gonna get passed because nobody's gonna agree on that.
right. Well, I mean, it sounds like that everybody that got in there
Is a
is,
is
is an agreement, which is fine. But like I said, like I would have a little bit of a connection. I mean, to me, it's like at the same time, it's not that big a deal. It's like Jesus, it's just some writing on the side of a car. Do you know what I
right.
mean? But it's almost like for one, it's like it's not inclusive to all religions because you could say God, but it's like, well, then who are you talking about? You know, because usually, you know, when asked, it's going to be the God of the Bible. And like I said, I just you don't you want to see you want to see things where you don't want to see.
Sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah, it's fine. And also too is like, I don't know, like any little step that could make me believe that this country could somehow become a theocracy because of you know, like, you know, more where it becomes less about the people, more about the set system of beliefs we have to believe. Like, you know, when it comes to abortion, like it takes away a lot of our freedoms. You know, because theocracies, whenever a religion becomes the thing that runs your country, it's almost an instant violation of human rights because they will take all the rights away because of the preferred belief system. You know, just like if you look at a lot of Muslim countries and whatnot. That's why a lot of Muslims are at conflict with each other over in their own countries, is because there are a group of Muslims who are the like us, who are like, you know, this is, I mean, these are just beliefs in the book. Like, you know, can we not do all the crazy things like kill the stone gay people to death and like cut off women's clits? Can we stop doing that? And like, you know, we have the old Muslim people that are like, no, like this is what it says. We got to do it this way. So
Yeah.
that's
And
why.
it's similar, probably just not as something that's been going on before all these other religions. We can use the Christian, I mean, the Catholic Church
Yeah, the Catholic
as an
Church, easy.
example too, because they're still covering up all bullshit that they've been doing with those kids for all this time, and doing all this crazy stuff that is just is crazy. And it started after these people been at war like this, the Christians and Muslims and the Muslims within themselves. That's been going on for way before the establishment of what's going on in here. People, everybody has infighting, especially when you, any group of people will have some people that are trying to overthrow the other people.
Yeah. Well, you know, another thing too is like you find a lot of people that would say, me as an atheist who's like, I wouldn't defend your right to worship. I want you to have every right to believe whatever you want to believe. You know, I mean, I'll be the first person to tell you like why I don't believe it and I think it's bullshit. Do you know what I mean? But I would defend your right to believe it. Like I would never say, yeah, no one's allowed to believe in God anymore. Like that would never be me. Do you know what I mean? Like I would never say you're not allowed to. I'm just saying like I would try and give you reasons why I think it's dumb and stupid and so forth. Or you know,
So
not
where do we
logical.
decide that? That brings up a very good question. Where do you decide that you're not going to support, like, do, like, even though it's hate, if it's hate speech, now if we're saying violence, I believe if you're preaching violence you shouldn't have no right or get
Oh
supported.
yeah, right, exactly.
But if you're just preaching like a white nationalist that's saying, I mean, you know, saying what they say, it, do they deserve to have the same rights as everybody else?
It's a tough conversation to have. I
It's a
would say,
very tough
but I would
conversation.
have to say yeah because even people because we can't do mind control. Do you know what I mean? I can't mind control people and tell them what they can and can't think or what they can and can't say because people are going to say that shit. You know, no matter what we say and like how many people we arrest, there's still going to be some guy out there who has bought into the whole white nationalists, or there's even black nationalists, and there's even Chinese nationalists. It doesn't matter. Nationalist thing. They're going to buy into it. Just like you're going to have people that are hate groups that are going to hate other groups of individuals for whatever
Keywords.
reasons. Yeah. And that's just how it's going to be. All I can do is speak out against that kind of stuff. You know, until the point it becomes preaching violence. Once you're preaching violence, then I think the minute that you say I don't like these people, we should kill them or we should burn down their churches or we should put them in a we should try and make their lives as difficult as possible, then you know, because I drive down the road all the time and I can tell you right now, like I'll be like, oh man, like I hate these drivers coming down the road because they're driving so damn slow or whatever. But at the same time, like it's not the same. Maybe it's not the same kind of hate, but like I hate whenever they're that kind of driver. But if I actually met the person, I would never know. I'd be like, oh, you're a cool dude. Do you know what I mean? Which I kind of think is the same about hate crimes. Like we're not hate
Yeah,
crimes,
well,
but
hate
hate
crimes,
groups.
violence, not acceptable. But I think you gotta let, like, even allowing people their freedom of speech if they're preaching hate, as long as it ain't violent, you have to let that be if you let other things be.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, also, it's an easy way to kind of gauge who is like the numbers. You can get the statistics on the support that people get. Because
Mm-hmm.
if, especially in this media stage we're at in our technology, let if a person is doing all that stuff, they should have the same rights as anybody else. I know Twitter controls it. YouTube is controlling, like if you're getting out of hand, they'll let it go. But we know there's a lot of stuff on there that's being, preached as hate. There's a lot of things that, it's just an open forum, and I think that would have to give them the right to say what they're gonna say. Now you know how many what the numbers are. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and then they can see the numbers as we move forward. I always believe in progression. I believe those people are slowly dying off. They're there.
Mm-hmm.
They've been bubbled since, and now they came back out a little too happy and aggressive since what's been happening in politics. But you can gauge that as the normal Joe. Like, instead of believing the news and all that, I can look and see. If I say, hey, let me go research some of the hate people, I could see the numbers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can see the numbers and say get a feel for all right, which demographic, like how many people really have these beliefs who
Right.
still preach this stuff, like how many realistically, But I was saying what I was saying right before you said something was that hate groups are a lot like that. Though I feel like they say they hate these groups, but if they ever walked up to a black person, say like you're a white nationalist, I feel like you'd be nice as pie to them. You know what I mean? Unless you really really believe that stuff, like
Yeah, well,
really
you get
really.
some people but then you got some people that are so separated and are not in everyday life that they never come across. They're only spewing what they've been told, or a bad experience draw them to that scenario, and they just, there's a lot of psychological things that go in. These are basically cults. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
There's a lot of
basically.
psychological damage that they're taking advantage of to get a follower to do their work.
Right. The only thing that cults fall into is that there's something supernatural most times they have to believe in, usually, or some kind of religious belief. But I mean, like, yeah, I mean, it's almost cult like because they're forming this group that, like they have a belief system because a belief system has a required beliefs and prohibited beliefs. Like for white nationalists, it'd probably be like, all people of their own races should stay in their own countries. That's a nationalist required belief. You know,
Right.
to call
Like,
yourself a nationalist anyway.
what are you gonna, and I've met a couple people that transferred themselves. Well, they were in the prison system and they had to do what they had to do to survive. Because if you know the prison system, you have to be with your race in one of these big maximum prisons, and you have to do some unquestionable things just to survive. I had an intro. I wish I knew where I could find him, because when he got out and I met him, he would always cover up he had jail tats. He had to,
Mm.
he would never have on, it could be 90 degrees out, and he'd have a long sleeve shirt on. I could see the top of the tats, but I didn't see all of them. I talk with him now and then in the neighborhood, and then
Mm-hmm.
one day he just pulled me to the side, said, hey man, this is now, I'm trying to, get this off my arm. I don't have the money right now, but this is what I had to do. It's not nothing. I don't feel like that. And explained it all and broke it down, and broke down what was going on in there, what their
And
goals.
so wait, he was like a white guy who had to join like
Aryan Nation. He had to
Aryan
get
Nation,
the Aryan Nation jail, which is one of the, biggest gangs in the jail.
right? That's an
Control.
interesting story.
Yeah, very interested. I mean, he's a genuine guy. He said I would have got ate like fish food out there. You know what I mean? I had to do something, and I had to make a choice. I do not believe in none of that stuff. I've done some regretful shit I had to do to survive. He was real.
Mm-hmm. So
And then in the time that he was a tattoo artist himself, and he said to get it covered up, it cost me this much. And he said, I'm going to get a tattoo done and get it myself. So me and my little brother gave him some money to do it, to go get the tattoo case. And he started covering up some of the hateful tattoos he had on him with other artwork. He was very good at it too.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah. Well, I just wanted let's move away from maybe less serious topic, and I just want to touch up on our NFL draft party and everything. It was, I would say, a major success because I had fun, and I won.
You
I
didn't win shit. You
I
won
I
the
got one more
your
pick.
come up your come up thing. Like
I got one more. Who was my pick? I can't remember who it was that I got because you had the first three and I had four. I'm trying to think who was the fourth one. Sorry, you said the first three don't count, so I got one and you got none. So,
no,
well,
not in the final seven. But you didn't do a whole draft.
draft,
I
yeah.
did. I beat Mel Kiper.
You beat Mel Kiper. Did
I
you?
got
Did
five right in the first
Did you post
round.
a video? Did you post a video on Coach B?
Oh no, I didn't
No.
get to that yet
Yeah.
because I didn't get to see his exact. Let me tell you something about these fuckers. I'm coming for you, Tom McShay and Mel
Mel.
Kiper, because they wouldn't give you their. They would talk about it, but they would talk about in a group setting on ESPN and say, "Oh, I think he should go here," but they never released
Their full mock
last
draft.
final thing. You have to join ESPN subscription to get it before then. And if you try to Google it right now, you will not find it. So, you know what I mean? So they're just
So
bullshitting.
so really like they're okay. So really okay. So they're making people pay with an ESPN subscription to see someone else's opinion of who might get drafted.
Yeah.
Oh my god! Some people
I
are.
think it's to control the narrative and say, oh, say I got this one right. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Oh my.
So
Because
they could.
there's so many people out there making mock drafts that like if I really wanted to look at it, I don't want Mel Kiper's fucking opinion, okay?
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean? I could
I
give a
just
fuck.
can't. I can't see how these fucks are up in here getting these jobs. I guess because they worked all that time. They're like, yo, just give me some shit to talk about, and I'll read it off the prompter like I know,
Yeah, like I
like
know
the
about it.
teleprompter, like I know. But yeah, I got 5 out of 32
That's not
first
bad
round. No, that's great.
compared to what Mel Kiper probably got.
To all the so-called professionals and all these people that are doing big productions on their own shows, trying to get the shows off. They got sponsors, they're doing it. But man, you should have seen their picks.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say is like that. I knew that's where the draft was gonna. I said at the Raiders pick that was when the draft was gonna go up in the air because nobody really knew who the Raiders would draft because they had so many ways they could go. I mean, they needed a pass rusher
Well,
and they
yeah,
got him.
but there's just a basic. That was a surprise to people. It was because I don't think anybody picked him.
Everybody was thinking like Josh Allen or Ed Oliver, and
I thought,
because of that, the draft went like way different because that if you know, like I said, it was a domino effect basically.
yeah, everybody had to start changing their picks. Like, oh shit, they didn't pick him. He's still on the board.
Yeah, right.
There's a few things. So, what did you got your Raiders picks? What was your top? I'm gonna give you my top five, and then I don't know if you're ready for that. Then you could just
Give you like the top five guys they drafted out of all 7 rounds.
no. Top five draft. We'll talk a little bit about that. The people that got the highest, I think, grades.
Highest grades. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Then we can talk about whoever your squad drafted, and I'll talk about the Steelers, and then we'll get out of here. Good
We'll,
note. We can
we'll
run
be
through it real quick.
yeah. We do have. I want to touch on John Singleton dying and everything else too. But yeah, let's get through
Yeah,
this.
we'll get that on the way out when we talk about something good.
Yeah,
We'll
like I said, for me, the 5 teams, the best drafts. I'm gonna toot my own horn and say the Raiders had a really good one. Just because I started researching
I
the
agree.
players that he picked. But them, the no, not the Colts. No, yes, the Colts.
Colts had a
The
pretty good one.
Colts. Yeah. I was thinking for a second the Texans, but it's actually the Texans had a bad draft. I didn't like their draft. They kind of went too much for need and stretched out a little bit for the Texans. But the Colts, the Raiders, the Seahawks. The Seahawks
Mhm.
had a decent draft. Not the Rams. San Francisco, and I want to say, I mean, because the Steelers got some playmakers, I'll say the Steelers had a pretty decent draft too.
Yeah, they had a decent draft. I put them in there. I picked the Colts. Um, the Redskins had a great
Oh,
draft.
Redskins.
I think the Redskins are set with Dwayne
Haskins.
Haskins. I think they picked the right. They were happy as soon as
Dwayne was coming out.
Fucking Daniel Jones. It's like who the fuck is Daniel Jones, bro?
Hmm.
But we'll get into that a little bit after when we talk about disappointment. But the overall one, who I said I got your Raiders too. They did an excellent job in the draft. I expected nothing, and this is not just because this is the team, my sleeper team this year, and it's not because Dev's a fan. I truly believe their record, they're gonna jump forward this year, and I truly believe that they picked a hell of a draft this year, and the
Hmm.
moves that were made for that to get to and the players that they got and the players that are going to step in there, I think a lot of them are going to step up and produce.
Yeah.
You know what
Well,
I mean?
well, a lot of the players, and this was just my opinion on it, was it was the character of the guys. I mean, because I started looking at all the picks, right? So you had Clennon, Farrell. You had
Clemson, or
yeah, yeah.
like 3 or 5 or
Well,
three
yeah,
or seven.
that too. They grabbed all these guys that were from like a championship team, so they know
Didn't
what
they
they're
get Renshaw too, or whatever his name is?
Renfro, yeah.
Renfro.
Renfro, and he is like, he was like the hero of a championship game. He caught like 3 touchdowns against Alabama, and
Yeah,
that
they're gonna they're gonna find a way to make them Wes Welker, Julian Edelman type of situation. You know what I mean?
hmm yeah, and I mean those are just some of the good picks, but also too, I mean the first round really spoke volumes though, because like at first I was like they took a box safety in the first round, and then I looked at some plays and I saw the guy Abrams, and I was like, and then I saw his relation to Trayvon Mullen, because they went and got Trayvon, which I love Trayvon Mullen. I was very high on him. And I was like, okay, I'm like, now we got Trayvon Mullen. I said, I like where this is going. And Abrams and Trayvon Mullen actually trained together for the combine. Like they're
Right.
best friends. And that's what I'm saying is like it's almost like John got these guys together and said, I'm gonna grab a group of guys that know each other, that have connections with each other. Because that way then when they come in the locker room, it's not
Communication.
yeah, they got the communication. It's not like it's all brand new faces. Like they're coming in with some people they know about. You know what I mean? They're conversating, and that helps with adjustment to a locker room. And also this draft class, you got to think about it, is the class I think Gruden wants to have as a leadership role going into Vegas next year. So
Right. Yeah, they're picking it up. He's got it all there. He's got um the best example with AB.
mm-hmm.
Watch him work. Get these guys to understand hard work. Watch how he handles himself outside of this shit. Don't handle yourself like
Like
that.
that. Don't do
Work
that.
like that.
Yeah.
So he's got an example veteran that's proven the show. Don't do this, do that. And it's
Dude.
always great to put, instead of saying it and talking to the kid, to be like, here's your example.
Yeah.
You know,
Work
to
this hard.
get your thing across. But my thing with the Raiders though too, I think picking Josh Jacobs was smart as hell.
Yep. No, I agree. Josh Jacobs was a great pick. Because
Right.
at first I was like, Josh Jacobs, but then I
No,
was like,
trust me, he's gonna be
a great
he's
running
gonna be
back.
a workhorse.
Yeah. Let's tread on the tires. And the guy, I mean, the guy looks like he can just make moves. I mean, just watching some of his footwork, his footwork's insane. It's crazy. So I think he's gonna be an amazing running back for them.
So so you guys set like you were still like, yo, they're gonna get somebody. I know they're not gonna get nobody for Aaron or for Carr.
No, oh no, I think what it was like people really bought into this narrative, because I think it's what people on ESPN, they saw the disappointing season Carr had last year, and I was
But it
thinking, what is
wasn't.
it? But it wasn't because because here's what happened was the start of the season, he was throwing picks left and right. Right,
Right.
because he was just trying to force throws, and because this is what the
It's a
conversation
new
him
coach. Everything's new.
yeah, and he was trying to impress Gruden, and he didn't have the weapons, and he was just throwing it up, and people weren't coming down with it. He threw up some picks, some bad throws, whatever. And then everybody turned off for the season. After the one San Diego game, that was the last game I watched, I was like almost done, because he threw a pick that was so blatant in the end zone. I almost wanted to just
Oh
forget the
man,
NFL existed. I was
oh,
I
you
was
guys
upset.
ain't fans.
Yeah.
I
Well,
watch
I
it
came
for
back
the
next
fucking
week.
sewer.
I don't know what the hell you're talking about. I came back next week. I'm just saying, like,
Uh-huh.
that's how I felt. And I came back, and then I started watching, and Derek was having great. I mean, he wasn't throwing fucking 12
His
touchdowns a
completion
game.
percentage was
But,
everything was up. That
yeah,
shows.
and he didn't throw a pick. He almost, like I always state this, he almost tied the record for consecutive attempts without an interception, right behind Tom Brady. He almost did it. Like,
Right.
he just week 17 came, and he threw. Jared Cook gave up on a route, and he threw a pick that it was bad. But I mean,
But the key thing to all that, it has absolutely, we know he has the tangibles to play. Now it is like get the best out of him and he's at that point in his career where now he can really start to be great. What
mhm.
is this, his fourth year?
This will be the 5th year.
This will be his fifth year. I think he's a year behind, but now that you got Coach Gruden and you had that year, he knows how to deal with quarterbacks. He prefers to get a veteran, a higher. All of his winning been done with older veterans. He's going to control the ball. He's going to get a nice defense, and they're going to they're going to go out and compete. So
Yeah.
all he has to do is don't lose the game. That's it.
Yep. Don't lose the game.
So I pretty much like that. But I think the Pats had an excellent draft as usual. They
Yeah.
picked an excellent draft. I'm not too sure about. I know about that guy from Sweden, the lineman. He looks pretty like that. He'll fit right in. Minkovic. Who did they get? They got Harry, Nikhil Harry.
Nikhil Harry. Yeah.
I think was an excellent pick. They did they get a tight end, or I don't know if they got a tight end.
I'm sure they probably grabbed one, nabbed one somewhere along the lines. So I didn't look at the Patriots draft all that much. I mean, knowing the Patriots, it's like I said, Patriots. It's like they're so successful, you almost just overlook them, and you're just like, yeah, it's probably good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's
shout out
probably
to
good.
Kevin Givens. He got picked up
By the 49ers.
by the 49ers on an unsigned, undrafted contract. So he's got a shot to go down there and do something, which I
Yeah.
respect. I respect people that that take it. Am I mistaken? Is he a senior or did he come out early?
I
A
want to
junior.
say he came out early
I
because
think he came out a year early.
like I said, I because he was with Khalil. He played ball with Khalil.
Yeah.
So
In the high school. So I think he came out a year early, and it is what it is. You thought you gambled wrong, but you still got an opportunity to get into somebody's camp and make some noise. Even if you got to stay on the practice squad, you got to go to somebody else practice squad where you can find a position. You got your shot. Now it's up to you to go out there and deliver that shit. So shout out to him.
yeah, shout out Kevin, K Givens.
And
It's a local boy.
other the Steelers, I mean, they did okay. I give them like a B minus. I think um definitely getting Devin Bush was smart.
Devin Bush,
That was
Deontay Johnson was an alright pickup.
yeah,
Um,
because it's like spitting image of Antonio Brown, height, size, creating space. Now he gonna elevate that to the work ethic
that he
of
had.
that gets him to that point. So they were looking for a replacement in the young guy, and he had the tangible. So it was a great pick.
Yeah.
We got the
Well,
tight end out of Michigan to help out. He's a big body. I don't. They didn't use him that much in Harbaugh's system, but I think Ben likes to use the tight ends. It's a big
and
guy,
yeah, and the Steelers are always good with getting tight ends. Though they usually have a good tendency to pick a good tight end.
right?
I mean,
So we're good.
Jesse James,
Lane,
Heath Miller, all those guys. I could just picture them all.
and then we got Lane from Michigan State. I think was a great pick. I'm really looking for another Penn State person, Marcus Allen, to step up this year and get in the box so they can run more of that like dollar defense they've been trying to implement. Because I love the idea in this game to have more safeties and defensive backs in there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Less linebackers, more bigger safeties, like how the draft, the thing that they got Barron for, people thought that was the fix. That's not the fix. Barron is like a high safety. He can play both positions, but you don't want him starting at your inside linebacker in a,
yeah, right.
you know what I mean, in a scheme that where your linebacker has to do a lot of shit. You want him to play, be able to. They have to figure out what is he going to be doing in that box area.
Well, he's gonna be. I think if you're gonna run a dollar, especially, you want to get like a fast linebackers that are gonna cover, and their main goal is diagnosis of the run, and and then drop back into coverage, and then let the corners then play based off of that almost.
Yeah, you just have
Your
extra.
DBs.
You have two extra people that can fly, that have better skills and better movement on the field than natural linebackers, is what
Mm-hmm.
it is. So you're basically getting some
Speed.
some not really, you don't really need to be that fast. You need to be football fast, but like diagnosing and getting there fast, but it's more that you're strong tacklers. You got those two tacklers that can identify quick and come up. They're faster than linebackers, yes,
Yeah.
but they don't necessarily have to be like blazing.
Yeah. That might actually be the scheme that Gruden and that their team is going to be heading towards with the Raiders because I mean I'm just looking at it. They got Lamarcus Joyner, they got Trayvon Mullen, they got Garyon Conley, they signed Nevin Lawson in the offseason. That's another corner. They have Carl Joseph. They got Jonathan Abrams. Jonathan Abrams is a fast fly-in box safety. I mean, the guy can just like in one game that I was watching the highlights for, he had like 12 tackles, three for a loss against Arkansas, where he just they it was like there's nothing they could do. He was on top of everybody, like flies as shit. He was crazy, and I think that's what he's bringing. He's gonna probably bring in some kind of defense like that, where it's gonna be a dollar set, and they're gonna have a bunch more corners
It's
and,
got to
and
be
DBs.
they want to be aggressive to
Yeah,
the they want to be aggressive to the ball in the box area, and then let the corners and safeties do, lock it up, which only everybody can wish to dream for. But the way the draft looks, I think, like I said, picking the Raiders, they're going to be all right. Steelers, everybody's knocking them, they're going to be all right. But there was the one that I give the best draft to, is the Bills.
the Bills. Yeah,
The Bills. I think everybody else is cool, but it's normal. They might have drafted, but the Bills positioned themselves to be pretty good next year. That's gonna be able to compete in that in their division. So they got Ed Oliver, which I think is one of the best D tackles in the game. I think
mm-hmm.
that people are
Underrating him.
yeah, and the tape that they had on him don't see his full capability. So shout out to the Bills. Kevin Williams retired, great defensive tackle up there for years. They got Cody Ford, offensive tackle out of Oklahoma. They got running back Devin Singletary. Now you
Oh,
got your
Singletary, but Singletary was like they were worried because it was 40 time.
yeah.
They were.
To,
I mean, I'd say I was just saying that was like one thing from the draft. People were like worried about him from it was he wasn't very fast, but you know,
he's a worker though. I like that.
yeah.
And then but their backfield, like they're setting up something nice here because you got the older Frank Gore up there, then you got the older LaShawn. So you don't have to run those guys all game no more. You can use certain packages to hit them with what you need to hit them. And
Uh,
then they got TJ Yeldon too.
oh yeah, and Yeldon.
Yeah, they got
Yeldon.
TJ Yeldon. So they
Yeldon's a
got him.
weird running back. He's
Huh?
just weird. Yeldon's a weird running back because like he's had success in the Jags and like he would just disappear. He's kind of like the Amari Cooper to me of running backs. He's there, then he disappears. I think they got drafted the same year too as Amari Cooper.
Yeah, I think
he just
they don't
disappears.
yeah, I think they scheme wise they had a running game set for Fournette. And I think they don't scheme Yel they didn't scheme Yeldon a lot. They have Blake Bortles, obviously that's going to cause issue. Yeldon's a good, get him out in space, get him the ball on some passing, give him his running isn't what mostly it's his coming out of the backfield that TJ Yeldon's good at. I
Yeah.
wouldn't expect him to run the ball 20-25. I expect him to run like 5 to 8 to 10 maybe, and then catch like 8 balls.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's pretty much the Bills. They I think that they're gonna step up real good. But the one thing that I got out of the Bills, another undrafted person who I think is the sleeper in this draft, that he's gonna end up proving down the line that he can be it might take him like 3 or 4 years. But Tyree Jackson from Buffalo, that quarterback,
Oh
he's got
yeah.
he's got the strongest arm. He just needs to work on things. And he's another person that gambled, left early, didn't get drafted. Now he's on the Bill squad with a similar type style of Josh Allen, strong arm,
Mhm.
inconsistent with where to drop the ball at. So they got a trend going on there that I think they might keep him if he can just last through the camp and improve.
Yeah.
I think they'll keep him.
Yeah, at least make a backup for them because they're gonna try and roll with Josh Allen, I would assume, unless he implodes this year.
Oh
Um,
yeah, Josh Allen ain't.
gonna,
He's the starter. They're
yeah,
just gonna
right.
keep him for future.
For the future, yeah, and then maybe he'll be like one of those guys they can use as trade bait, kind of like how the Patriots did with Jimmy G.
Yeah, similar situation. Like yo, he gets in a couple games and he can show what he can do. Or don't be Matt Castle though. They gave, they gave that motherfucker all that money and he didn't do shit.
Yeah, really, because he won a Super Bowl for the Pats.
Or
Yeah,
Brock.
yeah. Or and Brock Osweiler, yeah, that too. That's another one. Uh,
Yeah,
uh,
but that's all I had on the draft. There
yeah.
wasn't really. I mean, a lot of.
There's some stories I want to touch up on, but you said Singletary. Now I want to think about Singleton, Mr. John Singleton,
Oh
passed
yeah,
away, and want to pay our respects. Directed movies such as Boys in the Hood. Boys in the Hood is a good movie.
yeah. Shout out to John. Was one of the um, trailblazers in it for black movies when it wasn't getting done. He was making things happen, getting people jobs, um, just grinding, getting into the game. He helped out a lot of people, and he
Got
made a lot of good content. So
got Ice Cube's acting career off the ground.
yeah, and he specifically went and got Ice Cube.
Yeah,
He was like, I can't do this movie unless you got to play this part. It was that, and Ice Cube was trying to pass on it because he was writing Friday and
yeah,
getting his album together and stuff. So, but he went with it and it worked. So, yeah, definitely R.I.P. John. He's a staple. Grew up watching all of his content, following his career, watching how successful and just grinding. He's one of them examples of success from grinding.
yeah. And another thing, you said about successful grinding. Oh, you said earlier about Morgan Cooper, um, guy who made a trailer for Fresh Prince of Bel Air, and Will Smith saw it and was like, "Yo," he's like, "I gotta go talk to this guy." And now he's helping Morgan Cooper basically get a job, doing production and whatnot, like film production.
Yeah, I mean that's what it is. I think it yeah, Will, that was a good look by Will. When I first seen this and I thought it was actually a movie and people were like, "No, it's just he just made this as a trailer." I automatically shared it and posted Will
Right, right.
Smith needs to get this done. So Will's like travels around with a camera crew wherever he goes and he interviews people or he does, bucket list type things. He just comes up and says inspirational stuff. Um, so he reached out to the kid, got the meeting with him, filmed it, and yesterday it came out, and he was like, and to me, he's like, he was like truly like honored and was like, yo, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna get you in position because Will Smith and I think Brad Pitt, I think they have a partnership, and his wife have a partnership production company where they let out movies that they produce, and then trying to get into that sector, being a nice production company. So he's probably going to get him some things to do, let him work on his craft. And I think that's a fucking good look by Will because a lot of people won't even reach back and try to help a person when they see something. But I think he made it so dope and so like he took the time, made that shit, and that Will had no, even if he didn't have the time to get that kid and work with him, because I'm sure he has a lot of shit going on, he had no choice. He
He had
had
to
to
get it.
because it
He
was
had it.
so well done and it was so well thought up and he put some work into it. So shout out to Morgan Cooper.
Yep. Shout out. All right, that's all I had today, Coach. You have anything else you want to touch on and say about?
No, that's pretty much it, man. Just share our shit, like our shit, comment on our shit. Everybody that likes it, comments, shares. We need to get that interaction up, those
Yep. Yes.
enactments.
Like I said, hey, support equals support. You support us, we support you. So we want to see that coming from y'all. We're trying to out here make a difference in our community, create a better sense of unity, shit like that. So, as always, Bridging the Gap crew, we're out here. Take care of yourselves. Stay beautiful. See ya. Bye.
Bye.